Welcome guys. Welcome to Getting Started with Adobe XD with your boy Brandon Groce. I'm super excited to be here and I cannot wait to show you guys what we have for today. If you guys were here yesterday, put in the chat one. I would love to know who is returning for this segment today. I'm beyond excited, and before we even get started, what we have for today and what we're going to be doing for the entire day of Adobe Live, I would love to know where you guys are coming in from, how you guys are feeling, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening. Let us know in the chat how you guys are feeling. With that said, let's talk about, while you guys are letting us know in the chat, let's go over our schedule for today. So, with that said, we're getting started off with me, your boy Brandon Groce, getting started with Adobe XD. We then have, at 8:30 a.m., we have Jason Levine getting into Daily Creative Challenge video style. We have at 9 a.m. PT, we are doing Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with Voodoo Val. At 9:30 a.m. PT, we have video editing. And at 11:30 a.m. PT, we have Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge with Julian Salska. At 12 p.m. PT, we're getting into with Ashley Armstrong Editorial Design. And at 2 p.m. PT, we are getting in with Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge with our friend Peter. And at 2:30 p.m. PT, we have Draw Along with Kyle T. Webster. And then finally closing off today with Adobe Live, we have 3 p.m. PT, Design Off with Voodoo Val and Emmy from Good Red Funny. So with that said, I am beyond googly and ready for today. But with that said, I'm ready. Let's get into what we're going to be doing today. All right, before we hop in, I want to say hello to all you guys in the chat here. Let me see. It looks like, just want to make sure everything is live and A-okay for you guys. All right, good. I had to check Behance because I was like, uh-oh, I don't see the video, but we're good. Cool. All right. Now, let's transition over to what we're doing today. For those of you guys, I'm looking at the chat to see who is here from yesterday. Awesome. What's going on, Joe? What's going on Hardtick? Sean, Joe, Tim. What is up, Tim? We have Laura, Philip, Raju. Super excited. Even though if you missed yesterday's class, we'll talk about a little bit of what we did today, and then we're gonna focus on really bringing what we have on the screen here today. I'm just gonna showcase what we did so that nobody feels left behind, all right? So we have designed a food delivery app called Foodie, all the way from sign up, onboarding, to trying to deliver some pasta. Now, what we did yesterday is we really stopped. We got all the way from sign up to onboarding to the homepage. Now, because I want this to be the full use, we only have an hour today, I want to use the full time here to discuss with you how to animate the entire flow of this app, from understanding your boy's hungry to getting into this app, going through onboarding, going to the homepage, choosing pasta and or pizza, and then getting that delivered to my casa, okay? Adnan, I'm doing very good. How are you doing? All right, lively chat this afternoon, or not this afternoon. That's how you know how much coffee I've had. But before we get started, guys, if you are ready and steady for this segment, go ahead and hit that appreciation button in below the video. Highly appreciate that, and we'll get to going. All right. So what we are going to get started with today, ladies and gentlemen, is just maneuvering how exactly we want to prototype and animate this. So we're gonna start from ground. We're gonna really spend a lot of time on this. And anytime, I want to preface, anytime during this, if you're like Brandon, in the chat, how would you break down, how did you create this asset? Because half of this we didn't really do together. But if you want to see it, how it was done from scratch yesterday, from login to homepage, go and check out part 1 from yesterday on either Behance or YouTube. So with that said, let's hop into what we're going to start with here. We want to start with our onboarding here, or our login here. So what we're going to do is we are going to, let's see. We're going to go from login. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to click this here, go to our prototype, pull this over here. And now I don't just want like a prototype transition. I want something funky. I want something delicious. I want some pizzazz to happen. So when I click this here, like, so for example, you know, just doing, this is basic, right? If I go here, I click tap, change the transition to auto animate. We have our little snap transition here. You know, this is what we get. This is super basic, nothing too crazy. It's just like a little but nah, that's not what we're about. Guys, that is not what we're about, okay? We're about to do some serious stuff. What we're gonna do here, and what a lot of people who I mentor, etc., they question how to get like the snazzy transitions. And what I highly recommend them do is, I don't really have a name for it, but what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take what I have in this artboard, the foodie and this message here, I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna paste it in this next artboard. Reason being is because I want to, Adobe XD, what auto animate does immensely well, or really what it's for, is it takes where your assets are from one artboard, and it really tells the program like, okay, if this element moves from this artboard to this artboard in this manner, when we do a transition, we're actually gonna move that element from point A to point B based on where it is in that next artboard. So I'm going to make sure that it slides out this way, and I'm gonna turn the opacity down. I'm gonna do this step by step so you guys can see exactly what happens here. I'm not gonna go too in depth yet. I'm gonna just do simple examples here. So just like what I did here, I'm gonna go click on our artboard. And so this is what I did. So before the login, the transition, it was just like a little, you know, it just went to the next page. But now that we have, you know, we just did that little thing where we're like, okay, we want this element to slide out. I wanna also be able to, dun, dun, dun. There really should be a way to go back. So what I'm gonna do, because I just realized that's an issue, we are gonna just copy this. Maybe I can put this as like a cancel. We're just gonna put this underneath here to the left and pull this up, maybe just a little bit. We'll find a better place for this in just a moment, guys. But just to answer, or just to show you guys how this works, I'm gonna prototype it too, make sure I'm able to go back. Boom, boom. So we're here, click login, everything transitions. And you guys, this is what I want you to focus on, just that piece. It goes in, goes out. Cool. So this is probably, I don't want you guys to look at the back button and be like, that's the proper way to do it. I just needed you guys to see the transition. In UI UX, that's probably not the best place to put the back. Just wanted to say that. All right, but we'll figure that out. Let's go forward though. Okay, let's continue animating and we'll figure that out in a bit. But checking the chat real quick. Yeah, you guys are having the Mac PC wars in the chat. I love PC, I'm not gonna lie. The power of the PC is absolutely awesome. But all right, Tim, thank you so much for, you're on the comments, man, or in the chat. I love that. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and edit the rest of the page. So we're gonna go back to design and we are going to animate all this stuff the way that we want it to translate. So because we're basically moving, our goal here is to move everything to the right, I'm going to copy each element I have currently to this second artboard and just move it to the left, or excuse me, to the right, and just turn the opacity down. Same thing with our buttons here. I'm going to copy them, paste them over to our artboard, and I'm just going to shift them over just like this, and I'm going to turn down the opacity just like this. Now, this is what we have when we do that. Again, I'm gonna do step by step just so you guys can see how it's done. I really wish I kept the back button even though it was not good practice, just so I have a way to go back. Let me do this. Prototype, I'm just gonna use the foodie logo just so we can go back and you guys can see what we've done. Log in. You see how everything shoots out? I'm gonna hit foodie, everything comes back. Log in, everything goes out. So now we want a smooth transition back and forth, basically. Just in case. Or, you know what? Because we don't necessarily have a... Let's do this. We're gonna change this. Log in. And now instead, what we're gonna do is instead of back, we're gonna pull this here. We're gonna change the color of it using our, here we go, register instead. Yeah, so this would be the register instead. That would usually take them to the, the register page, but we're gonna use this instead to go back and forth. Again, not the best UX practice, but I want you guys to see how this is animated. And in the chat, if you guys just want us to just progress, that's cool too. I want you guys to be satisfied when you guys watch this. All right. Now there is something a little funky with this. It's not going as quickly as all the other bits are, and I bet it is because it is out here. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna group everything because Adobe XD likes to have everything be on the artboard, if that makes sense. Let's see, so I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna delete that. So now that I've grouped these elements, this should be a lot easier. Reason being, and you guys will see, so now before this little image was actually not on the artboard, so that's why it was animating a little funky. So now that I've grouped everything and these little edges of the buttons are still on the artboard, Adobe XD sees them as everything grouped within this is on that artboard. So you shouldn't have any issues there. Decrease the opacity, and now let's double check what we got. Log in, there we go, much smoother. Ta-da! Perfect. Now, if you guys are wondering why that second button was not super bouncy, I'm very sure it's because, ooh, okay, it's on snap. We're good. All right, so let's continue. Let us continue. All right, just double checking the chat, just making sure there's no questions laid out. All right, cool. All right, so last thing, I'm going to go back to our design piece here. I'm gonna take our final username and password bit here. I'm gonna copy them because I want them to slide in from the left when we animate. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna group these because I don't wanna fall into the same issue. Group, pull them off the page. Because we have the lines only on the artboard, Adobe XD sees them as still on the artboard, even though these things are super off the artboard here. So now everything, when we actually hit login, everything should slide in from the left. Lovely. There we go. Perfect. All right, now let's move on. Let's get into, we've logged in, we want to get the onboarding, or this is probably the register version, to be honest with you guys. Because there would be no other reason. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Hold on, guys. Okay. Everybody pause. All right, there we go, boom. Guys, we have to give Adobe XD some coffee in the morning too. I didn't give it its proper coffee. All right, boom, we're just gonna open it back up. Okay, back in action. All right, just make sure everything is the same. I wanna make sure that everything that we've moved. Okay, we have to do a couple things over again. All right, but that's easy, that's fine. Let's just check. Boom, log in, cool. Log in, okay, we're fine. All right, so we're gonna just change this really quick so it makes sense. Register and log in. And we are also going to change our little prototype here from this. We're gonna go to register instead. There we go. All right, now that we are done here, when we click this register button, we're gonna go to the onboarding. And what we want to do, because we want that nice transitions in our onboarding here, we are gonna do the same thing that we did with our login and register screen, and we're gonna apply what we did on, we're gonna apply what we did to the login and register screen. We're gonna apply, we're gonna pull some of these assets over here, and we are going to paste them on top of what we have here. Now, a lot of people are like, well, what, why are we doing that? Simple answer. I'm gonna show you in just a second. I'm gonna just pull all this stuff over. I'm actually gonna group it too. So Control Z, group, just so Adobe XD, even if a lot of this stuff falls off the artboard, I want Adobe XD to see that at least some of this block is on the artboard, that the content still should remain there. So we're gonna pull this off just a little bit. We're gonna turn the opacity down. Same thing with the background. We are going to turn the opacity down here. And what that's gonna do is when we actually click this register button, so I'm gonna just make sure we have our prototype in place. All right, cool, I'm gonna hit play. Oh, it's too large, okay. Register, I bet I didn't do auto animate. There we go, yes, this is super important. Auto animate, make sure it's snap. And let's do, yeah, 0.3 is good. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I apologize, guys. Accidentally clicked one of my scenes. I was trying to hit the up and down arrows. You guys love specs and computers. Network is I'm reading the chat here. Thought that one of the core rules of interface design was always be mistake friendly. Exactly. A lot of a lot of people ask me, like, do you have to, when animating, is it like as simple as, how do I not make mistakes? And I'm like, animating, figuring things out, like on a daily basis, designing things. Oh, I know why it's not letting me do that. Because we didn't group it on the other page. Okay, let me get out of prototyping. But in design, there's no like set right way of doing things. Constantly, and everybody's constantly learning how to improve their process, improve the way that they're doing things, etc. So right now, what I'm doing, guys, is I'm grouping. I did not group. The reason why I wasn't transitioning or auto animating correctly is I grouped what we had on home 2, and I did not group the elements on this page. So it's called group 19. We're gonna call this group 19 here, and we're just gonna make sure that our backgrounds that we have are the same name. Onboarding background 1. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna try this, register. There we go, cool. Now what we're gonna do here is we want to make it so we can actually, so we have our skip, but we did not do our little next button. So what we're gonna do is we are going to actually push this down. Or actually, let's try this. I have yet to try this. So, and again, this is mistake friendly, guys. Remember this. All right, so what we're going to attempt to do is a swiping motion. And let's see, we want prototype. And if we, let's see, we want to go this way, auto animate, destination, we want home 4. We're gonna do snap. Now, let's see. We are gonna take all this stuff here, just like we did. We're gonna group it. We're gonna go back to design. We're gonna copy everything from here to here, and we are going to make sure that it comes in from the left. And you know what? We don't have to do the entirety. So I'm gonna ungroup this. I'm just going to take, because the logo and the skip stay, but what we need to is we want to take these components, because this is what is changing. So we are going to, and we can actually keep this here. I'm gonna show you guys how we can actually make, what is the term? make it a component, and when it actually, we change the page, just the component changes. So all we need to do is just shift these people here. So I'm gonna group this, I'm gonna copy it, pull it on over to our previous artboard, turn the opacity down, and we're gonna do the same thing for what we have. Yeah, this is gonna make it a little bit challenging because I want, gotta think through this, because I want the logo and the skip to stay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Control Z all of this. And this is where a lot of, a lot of thinking comes in, guys, because we have to make sure that the way that we want it to animate is the way that it does animate. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna ungroup this. I am going to group these pieces here. 1, 2, 3, group, and I'm going to group the heading here. So now I'm gonna copy these two so I can animate them separately, and they're also grouped separately so I don't fall into any issues moving forward. So perfect. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna do the same thing I did here, group these two, and I am also going to delete these, take this. And for those of you guys who are asking, like, why did you just do that? And the reason is because I grouped things in a certain way. And like I said before, Adobe XD really wants to have the naming conventions to be the same for it to understand what elements you're trying to animate. That's why I did that. Because what we're going to be animating is these portions individually, separate from this. And I'll show you guys what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to group this. And now we already have that transition here. So now we're going to copy this, pull this in here, bring it to the right, turn down the opacity. Just checking the chat. Then you go from the right. Hey, what's going on, Ariane? I'm glad you guys are having fun in the chat. Are you guys, is there, oh, okay, I saw someone say, well, that was a short stream, and I was like, okay, are we still live? Y'all are scaring me in the chat. Okay, so let's back to what we were doing. So I'm gonna do this very quickly. I'm just gonna pull all the way here and all the way here. Perfect. Awesome, so this is what we have. We're gonna start at our register page. Click register, that stuff comes in. Now, right now, I think I just have it on transition, but this is what we're gonna go ahead and do. So now all the little prototypes that I made, I'm going to, instead of dissolve, or transition rather, we're gonna do auto animate. We're gonna do snap, or we can try this. We can try drag. Let's try this, guys. Auto animate, easing, snap. We're gonna do the same thing here. Auto animate, drag. Just so we have some of that swiping action happening. Drag, and we're gonna do snap. There we go. All right, let's try this out. So we're here, we're gonna drag this. Ooh. That is not what we wanted. Nah. All right, so for right now, for the sake of just getting past this, again, I was trying to see if we could do it, but instead of showing you guys what I haven't experimented with, I will show you what works. So we're gonna go ahead and just utilize tap for right now, just so we can make it easy for everyone. Boom, boom, boom. But I highly recommend you guys, if you guys can get, try out the drags as well. So we're gonna hit play. We're gonna tap, boom, gone through all those sliders. Now we can go to the home page, just like this. Now the one thing that I want to do, this last transition we have here, I want it to actually be a little exciting. I don't just want it to be like, boom, here's the home page, there you go. Let's make it a little bit more exciting. So what we're gonna do, again, just like we've done, we're gonna go back to design. We're gonna pull all of this here. We're gonna copy it, paste it on the home page, and we're just going to get rid of it fairly quickly. So we're going to pull this down, just like this, turn the opacity down, and we are going to, actually, you know what, it might be even more interesting. I'm going to pull it to, I wonder if we just pulled it up. Just select all this, and instead of going up, down, or whatever, I'm making it strange, we're just going to pull it up, okay? Let's see what we got. And it might, probably is even better if we had like a little next button here, which we will incorporate if we have time. So boom, boom. That was a little slow. And then that was a little fast. I think we still have that on transition. So we're gonna go here, prototype, click on this piece here, auto animate snap 0.3 seconds, and we have tap. Okay, let's make sure, let's try this. We're gonna increase this to 0.6. Ariane, yes, the name on the app was Foodie, but because yesterday someone said it looked like there was dye in the logo, I went ahead and I was like, look, listen, I love you guys as the audience. And I want to make as much awesome content that you guys return for every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever I'm around. So change the title to Foodie so it makes a little more sense, less offensive. I have a question from Camilla. Is it better to keep a animation pattern and direction, or would it be more interesting to mix things up to keep users active and attentive? I'm not entirely sure what that question means. Camilla, can you unpack that for me? And I'll be happy to answer that. Be consistent in an interesting way, Joe says. Yes. Tim is saying client changed their mind like they always do. Exactly. All right, let's check where we are. We're here. There we go. That's what we were looking for. We just want a nice little dissipation. All right, so now let's get into this. I want a little bit of a special animation when we come in. I just don't want a static home page. I want the home page to come together because this is the main attraction. All right, so we're gonna get our handy dandy mouse, okay? And we're gonna play. All right, so we're gonna take all of this. I'm gonna take this menu button and pull it over here. And again, just like always, we are telling Adobe XD where we want our elements to start and where we want them to end up. We're gonna take our search pieces and our cart piece here. Boom, boom. Oops, oh, okay. I was like, where's the icon? It's there. You just can't see it. All right, so I'm gonna pull these off just a little bit, just like this. Turn the opacity down. Pull this off just a little bit. Turn the opacity down. And I'm just gonna really quickly do this to the entire top part of the home page, just very quickly, so we can get somewhere. And then I'll discuss what's happening. So this part I absolutely love. So this is what we're gonna do. All right, I'm gonna actually separate this pasta thing here. I'm gonna hit Control-Shift-G to uncomponentize or actually I wonder if I can do this. We're gonna keep the component. And again, guys, I want to always say to you guys, the way I do things is not always the right. There is no right way. There's a whole bunch of different people, a whole bunch of different workflows and what works for them, and also just how people operate. So what I'm doing here, this is how I know what is efficient. So if you love the way that I'm doing this, take it all in. And even though if you think there's a little bit more efficient way, take what we've talked about here, research it even more in depth, and make your own workflow out of it. There is nothing in design that's definitive. Just like somebody said, embrace the mistakes, embrace the journey of creating our own work style, workflow, etc. Ariane, that is a good question. I believe, Tim, you can answer this. I believe that is something that we were working on, to have multiple interactions on a particular component. Camilla is asking again, you are keeping your animations from right to left, poppy and fun, but not Ooh, someone, wait, hold on, where'd that go? Where was the comment? Oh, maybe it was, okay. Moving, oh, there it is. But now you're changing the animations to the main page instead of keeping the same pattern. In terms of what pattern? I'm a little, unpack that again for me. If you could, I would appreciate it. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull this here. We're gonna split this component up just a tad bit. We're gonna have these pieces conjoin in the middle to kind of set a plate. I think this is interesting. So boom, boom. We're gonna turn the opacity down here. And we're just gonna pause. I think it's super important to always check after changing a few things if what you've changed works. Oh, someone fan me right now. Someone just, it's too good. It's too good, guys. I got tears rolling down my eyes. Hit +1 or put 1 in the chat if you guys are also having tears of joy in this segment. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look back at that. We're gonna go back to 4. Boom, boom. Ooh, looking for your favorite meal? Indeed I am. All right, that's looking pretty good. All right, so let's continue on. We are going to, let's see, time check. We got 20 minutes. Who in the chat thinks we can finish this? I know I think we can finish this. So let's move on. We are gonna hit our hot plates. Your boy loves spaghetti, even though he hasn't had it in a long time. It fights with his stomach. I can only dream. I can only dream. So we're gonna do prototype. We're going to take this baby, pull it up this way. And again, we're gonna do the same technique that we've done before. We're gonna take our elements from our page, our little product detail here. We're gonna pull it in on top of the previous page. And we're gonna pull it from the top. Opacity. And we're gonna take this section here. We're gonna group everything in this. Whoop. I'm gonna take this, just make sure, yes, we're gonna group that. Very nice. And we are gonna, what? We have enough pasta. Why did that paste? We're gonna paste this here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this below this blue dotted line, and I will explain why, okay? This line, for those of you guys who know, you know. But for those who don't, that blue line is the indication of where this particular screen size ends and the user has to scroll. So I want this to come from, for example, the blue line that's here is the indication of where that screen ends. So I want this to slide up from the bottom, and I want that image to slide from the top. So let us take a peek at what we have thus far. We're just gonna play. We're gonna click our little hot dish here. Oh, okay. Let me explain what happened. So we are going to play. If I click it here, we're all good to go. That was perfect, that was beautiful. However, if I decided to, there really should be a back button here. Oh, there's a back button. Forgot I put it there. I was like, where'd it go? Probably should be a different color, to be honest with you. We are going to make that, I'm gonna turn the opacity up on that, and we're gonna just make this our red color. Just so we can see it, you know? We don't want any dark UX patterns to just be like, look, no, you clicked on that pasta, you gonna buy it now. So let's take this, boom, hot dishes, very nicely done. And now we can add to our delicious cart, okay? Philip is like, so many ungrouped layers. This is true, but I think that's the beauty of Adobe XD, where, you know, in the past, now there's two arguments to this. In the past, it was super important to, and it's still really important if you're working with a team of designers to, especially with things like Photoshop, you're handing off a file and someone has to know how to navigate that file. However, let's say you're working independently. And you're working with a developer, you just need to know how to navigate your file. And so if you're working with a developer, really all you have to do is go to your share tab and actually send them a link in regards to development. And what that gives them, it doesn't deal with layers, it doesn't deal with any of that. It gives them the assets, the spacing, all the required style things necessary for the developer to take what you have and actually build it. So I can't remember the last time, unless I was actually working with, you know, in a non-lean way, especially when you're working with a team, you know, designing first and then going back to clean it up. That's usually the best process that has worked for me. Designing things and then organize it and then send off to your team, rather than design and layer and name things, like, does not compute. But I would love to know in the chat, you know, what is your guys' process? Oops, 8 in S. Dyslexia is hungry today. Wait, what? Y'all are savage in the chat. He said mistake friendly. All thank the back button. Exactly. All right, so let me go back to design really quick. We are going to prototype this back button really quick. We're going to just go back. We have snap, boom, boom. We're not going to make it that slow. We're going to do our 0.3. Let's put that in there. Let us now continue on. So if we want to add to cart, we're going to do something we're gonna add a little add-in, guys, you know, just in case they want that pizza. So what we're gonna do really quick is we are going to go to prototype. We're gonna pull this over, and instead of tap, we're gonna do time. And if someone doesn't buy this pasta in 1 second, we're gonna send them an ad, okay? Because you know what? They might want pizza. So we're gonna go back to design. We're gonna take all our assets here, just we're adding all this together. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on. Give me 5 seconds. So I'm gonna pull off to the side. 1, 2, 3. Let me get this plus button if I can. All right, hold up. Let me do this. I want to take, this should be on top. Boom, we're gonna move this this way. All right, now I can select everything. Close button, shade on top. Actually, let me do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I should be able to copy that, paste, and I now have this on my board. Okay, cool. I'm gonna group this, push this back over, perfect. And now I'm gonna bring this center stage in our previous artboard, turn the opacity down. Actually, before I even do that, I'm gonna move this down. I'm gonna copy our little overlay on top, and I'm gonna turn that opacity down. I'm gonna bring this into our mix here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scale this puppy down just a little bit, turn the opacity down, and let's see what we've got. We're gonna turn our prototyping back on. We have our timing. Cool, snap, 0.4. Let's take a look at what we got, ladies and gents. Oop, I bet I know what I forgot. Let's see. So from here, we have our snap. Let's do 0.6. I really want to see the enlargement. Let's take a look at something, guys, because you know what? I know exactly what happened. So I'm going to delete all of this on this page. This is what I mean. Naming conventions are extremely important. Because we need, all right, let's take this back. Adobe XD was like, you need to have, whoops. All right, let's turn the opacity up. It wasn't recognizing the layers because I had named them differently. So we are going to, actually we're gonna Control Z all that because I need, all right, let's do this. Boom, copy that, paste this down here. Now I can delete all this. Delete, delete, delete. All right, we're gonna pull over our background here, turn that opacity to like 56. Now we can pull this back into the game here, center this, downscale this, then turn the opacity down. There we go. Perfect. Now that should work. Let's try one more time. Prototype, boom, boom. Time, 1 second, snap. Let's make it a little bit longer. Play. I bet it's because the naming, group 25, group 24, aha! There we go. And let's also fix this back button here. We no longer do this. We do white and red, okay? So let me grab this one. Let me actually zoom in to copy or group that, copy. Paste it in over here and move it just behind that black bar or the black overlay here. And I'm just gonna check one thing, guys. I wanna make sure that this opacity or this is in the center here. Perfect. And now I can turn down. All right, now let's check where we're at. There we go, much better. And now all we have to do to click out of it is we're gonna prototype, click on this X to take us back. Perfect. Boom, close out, very nice. There we go. The power of names. We always have at least one moderator in the chat. Let's see. Someone should totally record pop mouth sounds and add it to sound design. I have no idea. Do you know where I can send suggestions and ideas regarding Adobe Live? Ooh, Ronnie. I can't wait to see what those suggestions are. All right, cool. So we have our little exit. Now we want to add to cart. So what we are going to do here is, let's see. We want to make sure, I think there's a better way of doing this. So instead of actually having our little favoriting thing here, what we can do is we're gonna just pull this. Actually, we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna pull this down, pull it up, and add the little heart to this right here. Or maybe we can find it another spot. I think we can find it in another spot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just move this little overlay thing that we had. And this is also where things get tricky, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm just gonna place it right here. This is why it requires a lot of planning. Do we even need to favorite the pasta? The pizza? All right, let's make sure everything is lined up here. Use my grids, make sure we're not going outside of anything. Let's just center this just a little bit. All right, time check, we got 15 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna pull our overlay back to the center here. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this. I'm going to pull this down just right about there. Perfect. All right, so when we add to cart, what should we see? I wonder if we can do this. So I'm gonna duplicate this because I like to have a little bit of a, well, we don't even need to duplicate it, but for right now, just for the ease of time, or no, let's try to do this. Nah. We're just gonna do it the way that I thought. But there's two ways of doing what I'm about to do. You can, and let me see here. I'm going to do a +1. Now, of course, you can create a component for this add to cart button and actually make it that when you press the add to cart button, the +1 actually jumps up from this button. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to take this, I'm gonna make sure it's centered. I'm gonna take my +1 here. And let's see. Is that what we want to do? I think there's an easier way of doing this. Because what I want to do is I want to be able to, I'm going to move this over here. And now I'm going to make this light here. Boom, and this piece up top. There we go. So we can actually see the thing. So when we add to cart, I want us to be able to see this entire thing. And I want this plus to go from the add to cart to this here. So I want it to fly. So we're gonna take this one, we're gonna pull it from here all the way up. And we need to add this one behind this button here, or rather, just right here, just to the center. We're gonna turn the opacity down just a little bit. We want that one to go all the way to this, excuse me, I just moved something, to this bag, and we want the number to change from 2 to 3. So we are gonna go from here. How do we want to do this? We can decrease the scale. And by the way, for those of you guys who are wondering, because I have a lot of layers here, and excuse me, I'm either using control to hit the, to basically not just touch the layer that I'm clicking on, but the ones underneath as well. That's a nice little tidbit that I've learned. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna click this 2, change it to 3, and we're just gonna try this out, guys. We're gonna see where we are in this, because I've also changed a lot. So we're gonna click out of this, we're gonna click add, oop, we did not prototype. Oh, I see what we did. Because it's gonna continue to keep popping up. It's like, you want pizza? Okay, so what we're gonna do here is after we click close, we are actually going to send people. So when I click close, I'm gonna send them to another page that does not have that timer, but is identical. All right, I'm gonna click on this because I wanna make sure it doesn't have any of that timer. Good, all right, so now this should work. Play, get that ad, whoops. Why did that show? Dun, dun, dun. Let's find out. Dun, 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 dun. And this is all the fun in the game of design, guys. Like figuring out, okay, well, why did that pop up before? Yeah, let's figure that out. I'm gonna make sure that our grouped thing is all the way at the top of our layers. And I'm also going to make sure that our overlay is on top of everything as well. But make sure it's behind our, there we go. Okay, cool. So now let's see, we should not be having that problem any longer. Boom, there we go, close. Awesome. Now, as you guys saw, the heart popped up. No worries, that's stuff that we can take out in the at a later point. I'm actually gonna take these out just so we don't have to deal with that for right now, because we do have about 5-ish minutes. So I think with that said, because we only do have 5 minutes, let's just walk through what we have and let's just refine, okay? And let's also address what you guys have in the chat with our 5 minutes to make it of use. So this is what we have done so far. We've come in, we've registered. Ooh, why did that not work? Hold on, guys, register. One thing we can fix, go to prototype. So we have our register, boom, not transition, auto animate, and we are going to snap it out, all right? Register, boom, nice transition. We have our example email ready to go. Register, fresh. And that's actually one thing we can do. We can do our little next. Actually, nope, we still got, let's do this. Let's take our little button. See, there's so much stuff I want to do, but within an hour, guys, we have to pick and choose. We have to pick and choose. But I do realize that this would probably be better with a next. And when you guys do it, put a next. Because again, we have to think about the UX of what we're building for our customer and those who are trying to deliver pasta to their doors. So register, fresh food, professional chefs, delivery straight to your doorstep, okay? We have amazing looking meals, am I right? Pasta, delicious. We had that delicious animation come together. The app did your plate and was like, look, this is what you can order. Now we're gonna go ahead and click spaghetti pasta because we love it. And guess what? No, we don't want Papa John's, even though it is buy one, get one free. That is enticing, but smell you later. We're gonna close that out and then we can add to cart. So that is what we have done. Now we can, let's see if we can do this. We have about 3 minutes. Let's try. We're gonna try. If we fail, that's fine. But I wanna give you guys at least, actually I don't even know where the numbers went. All right, 1, 2. All right, let's try this out. If it doesn't work, it's fine. This is gonna be interesting. All right, so auto animate, snap, boom, boom. Let's just see what happens here. And this is the wrong thing. We want to click add to cart or add to cart. Go this way. Boom, 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 snap. Let's do 0.4. Let's try it out. Add to cart. That brought back this. Why? Let's delete that. Prototype. Boom, boom. Where did our 1 go? I think this is what we'll do it, guys. We're just gonna hide this back here. And let's see, I really wanna try to see the +1 go up. I think they're not named the right things. Oh, well, guys. All right, well, what we were successful in doing in this hour, which I believe is quite a lot. We have our register for our foodies. We can register, we can be like, ooh, fresh, organic, professional, and straight to our door. Come together with a nice plate, amazing. We can click on what we want. We can have a nice ad, and we can close it out.